Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm 5 days out from a big 10-day trip, so today I'm doing trip prep. Finished with the Jeep. Basically, all I had to do with this was clean out all the junk that I've had in there forever. Got the trash bag on the back, and it's cleared out, ready for Niels' stuff to put in there, his tent and all that stuff, food, everything. And then I did finish up doing my bed in the back of the Land Cruiser here. So this is basically set up, and like soft bags I can put right on top of the bed. I can roll the bed up. You can see that it's just some foam, and then a thin. That's actually to my cot, that piece on top there, and it gives you about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches of thickness there. It's not super firm, but I laid on it for a while. It worked out pretty good. Got the cooler there. Got my tools, jump starters, all that stuff. The stuff that always stays in there. I got them in milk crates now. And then the other milk crate, I always keep about a half a case of water, a little bit of food, and then my emergency bag there. So all I need to do for this is load up. I got the table is up on the roof rack. Awning, got all that. My chair is actually in here right now, so it doesn't matter which vehicle I put it in, but it should be good to go with that. I like the way it turned out. I'll show you a closer look. Pretty good. I think it's not the height of comfort, but it's 10 times more comfortable than trying to sleep on the ground. I guess if I did have a ground thing, I could use this stuff. I've never tried to actually use this in a tent. I have slept on the cot underneath an awning next to it, but you take a chance with weather and with bugs with that, because you're just wide open. There's no covering. But it's 6'5" from there to here. I still touch, so I may not be able to lay out completely straight. I might be able to diagonal a little bit to make up the difference. I'm a side sleeper anyway, so it should be fine. We got plenty of room. This can easily roll out of the way. I can roll this all the way forward, put a strap on it, then I'll have, if I need to put anything right down, I just got the wood, and I put one of my packing blankets on it. I put down some tie downs in each corner in the back. You can see here. And then the factory tie downs that are under the carpet. These ones on here, they have 2 bolts that go in, and it's just like an eye loop that you can lift up. So I took one of the bolts out, and I was able to get a 3-inch 10 millimeter or M6 by 1 by 75, something like that, all millimeter. And I went underneath and poked a hole up through and then drilled it, and it was perfect. So I got both of its tied down in back. I've also got tie downs up forward by the driver, the second door there, and one up in front. That way, because right now the way this is set up for camping. We're going to be doing, like I said, it's 10-day total, but we'll probably be doing four nights, something like that. So normally it's day trips and things like that. So I'll roll this up, put it off over on the shelf, and then I'll have this whole area to put my stuff. And that's why I wanted tie downs. You just don't want stuff moving around. I actually went out for a test drive when it was just the wood, nothing on it, no tie downs, no nothing. And I had the milk crates in my bag, and everything was it was sliding everywhere with the slightest turn. So you don't want all that banging around. Not only do you not want to damage anything, but the noise, of everything moving around is annoying. So it should be good to go. So I'll have a table, these little plastic tables I use. I'll have a plastic table up here on the roof. It's been up there. I got it tied down, and then I got the little white folding one that I'll put in the Jeep. I'm pretty excited about going. More than anything, I have a blast when I go out solo, but going out with people, it's a whole nother level of fun, right? It's 2 different types of fun, and I think that doing all of one or the other, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? if like it back in the day, we used to meet up 50, 60 people. We'd go out to the dunes, we'd go out to the desert, we'd do all these things. There was just tons of people. But getting out there solo, especially when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I'm on my own time. I don't have to worry about, other people if they need to stop, if they need a bathroom break, if they want to stop for lunch, if they're getting tired, whatever it is, or if they don't want to wait for me setting up cameras. That's when I really enjoy the solo stuff because it's just me. I had talked about before that I don't have a fridge, any capacity to put in any of these vehicles. I think a fridge would be awesome, especially if you do multiple nights or you do a lot of big trips. Again, for me, I do a lot of solo day trips. Once in a while, I'll do a solo overnighter, and for that, it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary cost and convenience for me to buy a fridge. So I just have the coolers, and these days there's so many brands of coolers that the old coolers were about yay thick, and it was, you could barely maybe last 6 hours or something. Your ice would be all water. Nowadays they're all roto molded. They're like 2-3 inches thick. Coolers like the Yeti. That's a big brand name that everybody knows about. But I actually went cooler shopping the other day just to see what was out there. I haven't looked forever. I have a Pelican brand, Pelican cases. I had bought one about 5-6 years ago, Pelican cooler, and we took it to Utah. We left when I lived in California, so we put ice in it in California, took off, and we never put ice in it again, and it lasted 5 days, and it was 117 degrees in Vegas when we went through there, and the cooler was outside. It was sitting on the tongue of the trailer. So that should tell you like how good those coolers are. The downside of it is, even though they keep ice, if you set anything in there, things tend to get soggy and wet. This particular one has a basket that is pretty deep, and you can put stuff in there. You can also use like a, kind of like a Tupperware type of plastic container to put in there. But what I did is I came across like 5 or 6 other brands, and all the ones I saw were all made in the USA, which is rare that something's actually still made here. But I went to Sportsman's Warehouse. I went to this Alliance Lumber place. It's like a home center. I went to Ace Hardware. I checked online at Walmart, but they seem to have crap. But funny enough, I found a bunch of stuff. But man, they go from even some of the small ones, they could be $300 for these things, like $300 for a cooler. Anyway, I found this one. This is an Igloo brand, Old Faithful Igloo. And it was on sale. It was like $30 off. I think I got it for $80, $85 or something like that. So it's an Igloo. It's 22 liters. So 22 liters, and the color of it, I don't usually care about this stuff, but I thought because it was 22 liters, kind of matched my 22 thing. And the color of it is like the Moon Glow Pearl, which is the lower half of the car here. So it kind of called out to me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it. And the reason why I say this is the Pelican one that I have is a lot bigger, right? It was sticking way out into this bed area here, like way out into it. But you open up that Pelican one, it's like 4 inches thick. The area inside of it is not much bigger than this guy. And this one seems pretty good. So I'm going to try this one out. All it needs to do is keep stuff cool for about 2 days. And then, we'll be restocking, right? We'll just get enough food for the 2 days, cook, eat all that stuff, and then basically restock. And then if I need to do ice or get rid of some of the water, a lot of those, this one has a drain. A lot of the ones don't have a drain. I was looking at a lot of ones that said that they were like designed for fishing boats and stuff. So they were skinnier and taller, which would have fit this area. But this one, I think it's going to be perfect. And the other thing is it's not too big for me to do solo stuff. Like if I want to go out, because I have a really small angle one, which is too small to do too much in it. It's kind of like you can put stuff for a sandwich in there or something, but I think this is going to be the sweet spot for me. Well, try it out. I'll report back to you later on it, but it's pretty cool. Igloo brand. I think someone decided to make some cabinets over here while I'm trying to make a video. It's like a table saw or router going over there. I guess I was making all that noise not too long ago making this thing, but as you can see, I'm sweating pretty good. Look at my hat. Juicy. This whole side is, I don't know if it's going to see it there, but it's soaking wet. Because it's extremely humid out, which is rare except when it's monsoon season. And we've had good rains late every afternoon for about 5 days. Yesterday, I was out here doing the finishing touches on this, and one big, ginormous cloud decided to park over top of us, and it rained hard for a good hour and a half. Usually it's about 10 minutes or so, hour and a half good, but an hour later, all the ground was totally dry. So it should be getting everything looking pretty good out there, and it won't be super dusty. Just have to deal with a bit of humidity. Like I said, it's rare here except for monsoon season. Got a cloud going on right now. I think I'm pretty good to go. I still wanted to, I might actually go out and do something today. So I've got all my day trips that I've been doing and all my stuff that just going out and adventuring and enjoying four-wheel driving. I've made a bunch of tracks on my Garmin Overlander, the little GPS deal. And the thing works pretty good. It was a good purchase. I like it. Look, for me, I'm looking for simplicity. I don't need all this stuff where I download it, put it on the internet and all this crap. I'm just looking for places that I can say, hey, I want to go do a hard track. Hey, I want to go do a cool track with a nice view, whatever. And I have it all there, and it's by region, these different areas that I go to. So we'll be able to utilize that now where, my idea was always like, look, the hardest thing when you're doing one of these trips, as far as filming goes, is you want to show a little bit of everything. You want to see like how you're getting there, kind of the location when you're there, and then you're at camp. And if you're just driving on regular roads, it gets super boring. But I have these little tracks that are like loops, a couple miles where you can get some good, maybe crawling over some rocks or going through some creeks or going up some hills or finding a canyon with an awesome view. Well, as I'm going, we can shoot off on some of these little tracks in those areas. And it's going to be, in the past, I've always said, I think it's up here. Now I have a lot of them marked. I mean, a small percentage, but I have a lot of them marked. And just going out and doing that stuff is super fun too. So I'm looking forward to it. It's like I said, 5 days. I go get him from the airport and then we do our thing. All right, you guys. Well, that's going to do it for me. I wanted to give you kind of an update, kind of a follow-up to what I was doing with this, and I think it turned out pretty good. I can open the side windows, the sliders for fresh air. If the weather's perfect, I can, leave this open if I wanted to. I can leave the bottom open and close this hatch. Obviously, I got the windows I can roll down, but I think these side windows, the sliding windows are going to be kind of key to this whole thing as far as controlling how hot or cold it is inside. You'll be surprised. Vehicles don't really, if you're out like in the winter, they're not going to give you any insulation. If anything, they're just going to build condensation inside. People think that sleeping inside a car is a lot different than just sleeping outside. The only thing it'll do is keep the snow off you. But it'll get freezing cold inside a vehicle. With all the windows, they're not designed for that. But that's why you always make sure that you have the right kind of, sleeping bag or, whatever. Make sure you have insulation underneath you and all that. But as far as convenience go, no weight of a rooftop tent. I don't even have a rooftop tent anymore. I sold the trailer that had the tent on it. It's starting to rain. I sold the trailer, so I don't have a rooftop tent, but I don't want the weight of a rooftop tent. For me, I know what I like to do, and other people who have rooftop tents, they go out. Maybe they go out every weekend and camp every weekend, and that it's perfect. But for me, it's not perfect because I do more day trips where I off-road, and I don't want the weight of that up there. You know, maybe down the line, you never know. But you know, right now my setup is perfect. The clouds are coming in. That's it for me. Short video, but kind of a follow up. Going to be pretty comfortable, and it's really temporary. I can pull this out. The bed can be out in a minute, right? Rolled up and put on the shelf. The whole plate can come out. It's just 2 bolts holding it in. Take those bolts out. I got to tip it sideways, pull that out, and I'm back to just carpet. So that's the beauty of it is how fast I can change it back to where original is. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching.